Hey, what's up guys? MGH here. Welcome to another video. Today we're talking everything about the Arsenal versus Chelsea Community Shield game that just finished as I'm recording this. So there will be spoilers. If you do not want to know the result, then please click away or, go and read about the game first or watch the highlights, then come back to the video because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. It's been a fantastic match for Arsenal fans. As you can imagine, we did pick up the win in the end. Otherwise, I would be starting this video very differently and probably complaining a lot more and my voice would be a little bit moody. But we got the win and that's a really, really good thing for us and I will explain why. First of all, in the background, we've got a simulated game, Arsenal versus Chelsea. I've matched the lineup for Arsenal. I couldn't quite do it for Chelsea. And bear in mind, there is no Lacazette at Arsenal or Kolasinac, who actually eventually went on to score in this game. So he's not in the team. So that's the first bit I want to talk about. Spoilers. Don't watch this video if you don't want to know what's happened. It's as simple as that. So at first, the team selections came out this morning. And I'm not going to lie, a little bit disappointed with it. I saw that we had Oxlade playing at left wing back. I thought that was a little bit of an odd decision. We had, El Neni partnering Xhaka, which actually turned out to be a very strong partnership. I really do enjoy Xhaka playing alongside El Neni. Although they're both quite defensive-minded, it would have been nice to have maybe Oxlade at centre-mid next to Xhaka, and then maybe have Kolasinac starting at left wing back. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit confusing because he's been so good for us in pre-season in that position. Why suddenly put Oxlade out there when we know that's not really his position of choice? Also, we had Mertesacker, Monreal and Holding in defence, which isn't awful, but of course it's not our strongest lineup. Koscielny wasn't starting today. We didn't have Alexis. We didn't have Ozil. We had a lot of players out, but that's okay. It turns out that we were okay defensively today. Mertesacker did pick up an injury very early on in the game. He got a massive gash to his eye, and Kolasinac did have to come on in place of him. So that meant we actually shifted Monreal to the main centre-back role. We had a left-back playing main centre-back in the middle. It was a little bit of a weird one, that. So I was a little bit... Welbeck as well at left wing. I'm always a little bit concerned about Welbeck. He looks very clumsy on the ball, but actually he had a very good game as well. Just made a tackle on Hazard, which didn't quite work out. So the team selection wasn't great, but like I said, it turned out to be pretty good. I thought El Neni and Xhaka in the middle were absolutely fantastic. Xhaka in particular, he is turning out to be a very good player for us. He just controls the midfield. He reminds me of Scholes. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him to Scholes in terms of ability, but in terms of what he does on the pitch and his role in the team, it's like he controls everything. He stops time. He gets the ball and he opens up the game, which is something that we've missed for a long time. And the fact that he's very physical as well, he's a bit of a tank, along with Kolasinac, of course. That means I think we're going into a season with a lot more physicality than we have done in previous seasons. So let's just jump straight into it. The pre-season result, of course, against Chelsea wasn't great. We lost against them 3-0. Batshuayi had an absolute blinder against us and looked very, very good. So I was very nervous going into this game, thinking that they were going to smash us even harder potentially because they had a very strong lineup. They had a few players like Hazard missing, and of course Diego Costa, who knows what's going on with him, but they still went for it with their lineup, much stronger than the Arsenal lineup. And that pre-season friendly did put some thoughts into my head, thinking this could go very, very badly. But in the end, it didn't happen, which is really good. And this game was almost, the first real test we were going to have before the Premier League starts. So I wanted to go into this game, hoping that Arsenal would pick up the win, but of course play well. And I think that we've achieved that today. We've beaten Chelsea, who had a better lineup than us. You could argue had a better pre-season than us. And we've managed to actually come away with the most important win. I would have rather lost the pre-season game and won the Community Shield other than the other way around. And I'm sure Chelsea fans would agree. And I'm not saying Chelsea were bad today. I don't think they were quite ready. They seemed a little bit leggy. Whereas Arsenal, maybe they've had an extra day, I think it might be. It might have been just that little difference, that gave us the extra bit of fitness we needed for this game. And another thing I want to say as well, the Community Shield, of course, it's cool. It's okay. Let me just skip through the half-time here. It looks like Arsenal are dominating this game. It's still silverware at the end of the day, and it's not a massive trophy. Of course, no one really cares about it. And this happens every year. Whoever's playing in the Community Shield, it's if they win, yay, fantastic, we got a bit of silverware. If you lose, it's like, well, who cares? So I think that's the case here. I think Chelsea fans will probably agree as well. No one really cares about the Community Shield. Oh my God, how did he get through on goal so easy? That was terrible. Was that Alonso as well? So I'm really pleased that we won it, but of course for me it's more about the performance, and I really think Arsenal stepped up today. It was a much improved performance on the pre-season games we had, which is really good to see, with obviously the Premier League starting very, very soon. So let's talk about the first half. Arsenal were definitely on top. It did finish 0-0, but Arsenal had quite a few chances. Lacazette, on his official debut, his first competitive game for Arsenal, hit the post with a beautiful curling shot. Which would have been lovely to see go in, because when he came off, he looked a little bit disappointed. Giroud came on for him in the second half, and Lacazette, I guess, felt like he probably had a goal come in. But I was impressed with Lacazette. He looks like a very, very good player, as you'd expect. Very, very good in the French league over the last few years. Xhaka hits it. Oh, not far off. So really the first half was quite boring. I'm not going to lie. Even though Arsenal were on top, Chelsea still had their chances. And the game needed a goal. It really did. So going into the second half, within 30 seconds, Chelsea actually did score. It was a poor clearance by Xhaka after a corner, and somehow the ball gets crossed back in, and that's Ozil coming on. Interesting. And Moses was on hand to score. It was poor marking by Bellerin, and I can't remember who it was, maybe Holding, I think it might have been. Could have done a little bit better there, and when Chelsea scored, you know, the usual panic set in. It's like, oh no, they've scored. But then suddenly, about 20 minutes later, there was a challenge on El Neni from Pedro, which no one really thought anything of. You know, it was a nasty challenge, there's no doubt about it. He had his studs up and he caught the back of El Neni's foot. And suddenly, after he got up after some cramp, the referee showed him a red card, and I was like, what? Where did that come from? But when you watch the replays, it wasn't a nice challenge. It really wasn't. So I kind of understand where the referee's coming from, but also I could understand that Chelsea fans, you know, saying that it was a bit harsh. I can see that, I can. It wasn't a nice challenge, but maybe not quite a red card. That's me being brutally honest. And then directly from the free kick after that red card, lovely floated cross in from Xhaka, as Giroud has another shot very close there with his weaker foot. Kolasinac is in the box, and he heads it beautifully into the corner, and that pulls us level 1-1. And then not much really happened. Even though Chelsea were down to 10 men, they obviously went very defensive, and we were not able to score that second goal. So it went to penalties. The Community Shield has no extra time. It goes straight to penalties if it's level. And funnily enough as well, we were allowed 6 substitutions each in this game. I think, is that the first year they've done that? I don't remember last year or the year before teams being allowed 6 substitutions. I think that's a great rule. Also, something to talk about, with the penalty shootout, we used the new set of rules, the ABBA penalty shootout. So if you don't know what that is ABBA penalties. It's, instead of taking one each, one after the other, the first team that takes a penalty, the other team then takes 2, if that makes sense. So it's A, B, B, A. And it was really good. I really, really liked that system. Turns out it maybe gave us a little bit of an advantage, because Chelsea's penalties were horrendous. Courtois, he stepped up and he took a goal kick. What was wrong with him? I think that must be, it's one of the most stupid things I've seen in a penalty shootout in a long, long time. I feel like if your goalkeeper's going to take a penalty, it shouldn't be, you know, within the first few. Because if he does miss, which in this case he did, he's then got to go in goal and compose himself after missing a penalty and try and save the rest of the penalties being shot at him. His head's gone. Courtois was completely distraught after missing his penalty, and then he's suddenly got to go in goal. Are you stupid? Whoever's decision that was needs to really rethink that. I'm hoping Courtois said, oh, it's okay, I'll take one, and that it wasn't the manager saying you should take one, because that, I'm sure, will never happen again now, because that, I think, was just really, really silly. The final penalty went down to Giroud, and I've got to say I was a little bit disappointed. I was hoping that Nelson, he came on with 5 minutes to go, would be the guy to take that penalty. What a great memory that would be for him, winning the penalty shootout for Arsenal against Chelsea. And at the age of 17, he looks really good. He's had a fantastic pre-season. He's been with Arsenal since he was 8 years old. We really do have a great talent on our hands. It just would have been great to give him that final penalty. We had 2 penalties in hand, pretty much. You know, we were looking like we were going to win this penalty shootout, even if we missed one. So it would have been lovely to see that. But Giroud did step up. He put it away, and it put an end to a fantastic game for Arsenal. There was a few sloppy moments in defence, but we had a very makeshift defence. And I think that as an Arsenal fan, I'm feeling really proud of the team today. We haven't invested massively this year in terms of, raw signings. We brought in 2 players, one of them being on a free, which for me, Kolasinac has probably been the best signing so far for us. I know Lacazette, was very expensive, 52 million euros or whatever it was, and he will come good, but Kolasinac, what a deal that is. He could have gone to many other clubs. We paid him the most on wages, and it looks like a hell of a deal. He looks like a great player. And of course, we've invested in Lacazette, but I'm hoping that we're still going to be bringing in at least 2 more. I think we need a centre-back. You saw today we do struggle when we get injuries, and now that we play a formation with 3 centre-backs, we don't have enough, especially with Mertesacker, ageing. This is his last season. I would very much like to see Arsene invest in a new centre-back. And also a midfielder, because although El Neni and Xhaka were brilliant today, with Ramsey and maybe Oxlade as the other centre midfielder, with Cazorla always injured, I just feel like maybe we do need to bring in another central midfielder that sits alongside Xhaka. I'm thinking Seri would be fantastic for Nice. I know he has been linked recently. So yeah, Arsenal have won their first competitive game of the new season. We've won a trophy already, albeit a bit of a pansy trophy that no one cares about. Go on, ref, send him off. Send Fabregas off, you want to. Send him off. No, such a shame. We're going to get a free kick here with minutes to go in this game. Let's see if Arsenal can win it in the end here and beat Chelsea in FIFA as well. From what I can tell, it hasn't been the most interesting game. Let's see what happens here, though. Poor tackle from Fabregas there. And again, I just want to reiterate what I said about Xhaka and El Neni, mainly Xhaka. I think that might have been one of his best performances in an Arsenal shirt. If only that long shot he had went in. What a save by Courtois. But Giroud's taking our free kick. Okay, we do have Mesut Ozil. Why are we not using him, you silly game? All right, here we go. This is going to be our last chance, I think. Can Arsenal win the game in FIFA, matching the result in real life? Let's have a look. Giroud stepping up. Oh, hang on, no, Theo's there as well. Giroud's going to shoot, and it's saved by Courtois. That is going to bring this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I do plan on making a lot more kind of review videos of Arsenal this season, so let me know if you're interested in that and how you would like me to do it. But that is going to be the end of this video. Like I said, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you are subscribed, and come on, Arsenal.